Anne Rabbitte is an Irish politician. She is a government minister. She is a minister for equality, children, disability, integration and youth. A very prominent role, very important role in politics. Now, as it happens, she was at a meeting. She addressed the meeting yesterday. She addressed the meeting, and at this meeting, apparently some poo in the audience threw a bag of dog poo in her direction. Now, it's a very minor incident, and apparently nobody noticed. In fact, the man who organised the meeting was on the radio this morning, and he said that it didn't really register at the time. He didn't really know it had happened. He said he vaguely remembered someone throwing what he thought was a piece of paper or a flyer a few inches in the air and watching it flutter to the ground. But beyond that, it didn't register, and he didn't know there was anything wrong or anything had happened. In spite of all this, after the meeting, Anne Rabbitte apparently went on Twitter and complained that she had been traumatised by this display of hatred. And she was so traumatised that her throat dried up and she could not finish her speech. And wasn't this terrible? And this was just another example of the hatred and aggression being directed to politicians and journalists, etc., etc. Now, the hypocrisy of this woman is sickening. This is a government minister. This is a mainstream politician who has helped to create an atmosphere here in Ireland where if you disagree with any government policy on immigration, on LGBT issues, on abortion, on transgender issues, on sex education in schools, the radical, extreme left, sex education in schools. If you question any of this now in Ireland, you'll be told that you're far right. You'll be told there is no place for people like you in the New Ireland. If you go out on the street to try to talk to other citizens about these issues, you'll be met with gangs and gangs of extreme left-wing neo-fascists shouting fascist scum, fascist scum, fascist scum in your face. This is the rotten, toxic atmosphere that mainstream politicians and mainstream journalists, what used to be mainstream, but are now far left politicians and far left journalists have created. They have created an atmosphere in which anyone who says anything about anything is told to shut up and that they're far right. And this woman, she's traumatised because some inconsequential fool did something stupid while she was in the middle of a speech. She's traumatised. You know, this is the crime of the century. This is proof that we're living in a far-right world where hatred is directed against politicians and journalists. You know, the hypocrisy of this woman, the double standards. You know, she and people like her can abuse, bully and slander and use their position of power and privilege to shut up and to marginalise anyone who says anything they disagree with. But she's traumatised. Well, and please excuse my language, but I don't give a shit. I don't care how traumatised this woman is.